The red, white, blue flying way up high, and we stand and salute to the ones that fight, and we don't give a damn if you don't like this American pride.
Welcome to the sunny side of freedom. Here we are once again meeting with one of our amazing veterans. Today I bring to you War Eagle, also known as Robert. Hello, my friend.
How you doing, girl?
I'm doing good. So let's start off first by saying what we're doing. How are we together?
Oh, this is a great weekend, ain't it?
It sure is. It sure is.
This has been going, let's see, what did we start this? August of last year?
August of last year.
We started planning for all this and finally made it come together this weekend.
That's right. As we always say, make it happen, make it count, right? And we
That's
sure
it.
did.
A lot of effort, a lot of planning on a lot of people's part.
Most definitely. You know, you got to put some time into it. We invest in ourselves and then we invest in others and we make magic happen. So today I wanted to take this opportunity and I hope that you'll leave some amazing comments down below to bring to you War Eagle. War Eagle is a friend of mine on TikTok. We actually met probably a little bit over a year ago or so.
I think it was March of last year.
March of last year.
When you first started doing your live.
When I first started doing my live. So yes, over a year ago.
Yeah.
I didn't know what I was doing on the TikTok platform, but I learned real quick. And for those that are new to the Sunny Side of Freedom platform, I want you to know that when I first started off, my whole vision was to unify as many Americans as possible in a very divisive world. And initially, my most concerning piece was that civilians had no way or know-how of interacting with our veteran community. And that was really what became like my focus.
Yep.
And I started a Veterans Live every Friday, 9:30 p.m. Eastern Time, a place where we get to meet one another every week.
Talk, tell our stories, and kind of give the civilians an idea of our mindset, whether we're combat veterans or just veterans that served. And the combat veterans and the veterans that served, our mindsets are a little different, but we understand each other.
Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do. What you're trying to do is get it to where the civilians understand both parts of it.
That's exactly right, my friend. Bridging the gap, right? We do such a terrible job of that as a society, of bringing communities together.
Well, it's not only that society did a terrible job of it. A lot of our leaders did it too because they skipped the step of interacting with getting the civilians to interact with the veterans. And they just kind of threw us back out into the world and nobody knew how to take us.
That's right. And we've actually talked about that on my live. We've talked about how difficult it's been. You know, what I learned as a civilian was, wow, you know, you go out there most often as a youngin, right? Fresh out of high school. And you're pretty much programmed to forget everything you knew from the civilian world.
I started my career at 17 years old, a week after graduation. So I really didn't have no time to celebrate my graduation before I was shipped off to boot camp. And I was Army National Guard, and I came up here actually where we're at now, close to where we're at, for boot camp and AIT in 1986.
Wow.
And I did up till about December of 86 in the Army National Guard, and then did an inter-service transfer and went to the Navy.
In the Navy.
Went to boot camp in Illinois. Then I proceeded to go to several different schools. One being A school, air crew school, training squadron in Norfolk, Virginia, and then SEER school. And we've discussed a little bit about SEER with you since we've been up here.
Yeah.
But there's a thing about SEER that a lot of people don't understand. We can talk about some things of it, but there's a lot we can't tell.
I imagine.
We sign a piece of paper when we go in there and say, okay, you won't discuss this parts of it.
Right.
So, and anybody that's been through it, they know, they understand what we went through in there.
Yeah. I will never understand. I just try to paint a picture in my mind. And, all of you have taught me so much, so much. You've really opened my mind to different conversations. I'm learning so much with all of you, and you make me laugh too. But, we have fun. But, for our viewers, how many years did you serve? And
I
are you
served a total of 24 years.
24 years?
I
Thank
did
you for
three
your service.
deployments. And, it's like we're up here this weekend with veterans.
Hmm.
We've got 5, 6 veterans. Is that right? 7?
7. 7.
7 veterans. All of us entered in different time frames. And if you listen to us talk about our training was completely different from the other one
Yeah.
because they entered later than I did. And my training was a lot more strict than theirs
Yeah.
was, but theirs was stricter than some of the younger guys that are
Yeah.
here. So I mean, it's however your training that you go
Yeah.
into and when you went into training.
Right.
So
Yeah, and I want to talk a little bit too about this weekend for our viewers,
mhm.
and what he was mentioning was for almost like a year, we're talking about the Sunny Side of Freedom meetup, getting together with some of these veterans as we gather week after week on every Friday. More and more continue to join our group, which is the Sunny Side family. And especially on Fridays, it's a safe place for our veterans, military families, and all Americans, a place where we gather, gain perspective, have respectful conversation, get to know one another, and truly try to gain perspective on what we're all going through. Because at the end of the day, we all have a story. We do. We have a story and we all want to tell it. And that's part of my mission, which is what I'm doing, which is trying to get their stories out because they all matter. And this weekend has been very special for us
Mhm.
because, when we speak nationally, we have people who have joined us. We've flown in, we drove in.
Yep.
You drove like 10 hours?
10 hours. It took me 10 hours
Hours.
to get up here.
10 hours to get up here. That's commitment. And so it's a few days where we're interacting, getting to know one another on a physical level because
Yeah,
we've spent hours together.
spent hours together on TikTok on our lives. But have you seen something that you don't see in the civilian world with just the day or so that we've been here so far?
No division, no
Have
anything,
have
negativity,
have you seen the
the
veterans?
cohesiveness. Cohesiveness.
It's
It's like
all
glue.
and it's automatic.
Yes, it is. It's
Yeah,
automatic. It's like you've all known each
yeah,
other. They speak
forever.
the same language. I can tell you they do. There's no shyness in getting to know
Nope.
each other.
And we will cut jokes at each other. Just,
Yep.
I mean, you heard us out there last night.
They cut jokes at me too.
Well, you're part of the family now.
I'm part of the family. I've been adopted. And yeah, they don't go easy on me. Do you go easy on me? I think you guys
No,
go easy. Yeah, I think you go a little bit,
we
a little bit.
maybe a little. We're not going to be as cruel, as harsh to you as we are to each other,
Yeah.
but
That's good. I like it. Let's keep it like that. But I have learned a lot with you guys, and I'm learning new sayings,
the lingo.
the lingo. Oh my god! Every week I'm like, "What's that?" Right?
Mhm.
I'm always asking. Ask questions. Questions are important. Um, the more you know is what I say.
Yeah,
I need to at some point put together a book. You know, the Sunnyside
that
Book of Sayings.
that would be a very big book.
It really would. It's been phenomenal. But this weekend, which I really wanted to touch base on, and of course we can talk about
Yeah,
anything you wanted to leave with us, which we'll
I mean
touch base on as well.
this weekend I have looked forward to it for a while. And me and you've always kept in contact, even off of
Hmm.
TikTok, and we have discussed getting all this situated.
Right.
And I'm glad it came together.
And do you mind sharing why it's so important to you?
It's to me, it's getting to meet all the guys and
And again,
especially getting to meet you. I mean,
oh,
you have done so much for us just by having your veterans live. Um, it's a place where we can connect to each other and talk.
hmm
And whether we know each other or not, there's still that connection. And this weekend just reinforced all that.
yeah, it's a beautiful
And
thing, right?
oh yeah, it is. I
Yeah.
love it.
And you answered my question. I was actually going to ask you what the Sunny Side of Freedom platform has meant to you. and you just more or less told us
Yeah,
it means a lot to
it
you.
does. It does.
Um,
And the thing about it with my job that I have, the 2 Fridays that I'm gone, I'm like, "God, what are they talking about?"
well, well, the good thing is now that Sunny has her, as you know, we joined the
Mhm,
Paladins Roundtable Network, which is our gathering place,
mhm.
right? So a lot of my videos and things can be accessible, but we always miss you. That's the funny part too. We get it's not even funny. It's amazing because the regulars, as we know
Yep.
them, right? We're a family. We show up at the table. We do, and when someone's missing, you notice. And right away, I'm like, I know where War Eagle is. It's 2 weeks on and 2 weeks off, and
Yep,
he can't
that's
be
it.
here today. But we notice when someone's missing, which is another important piece,
Yeah,
when we talk about check-ins and we talk about mental health, so many of the topics that we bring to light, that in itself, you don't just have Sunny
yeah.
wondering where you are. You now have an extended Sunnyside family wondering where you are and if you're good.
And you see that when I'm gone, because when I'm on Friday nights, when I'm sitting there on the rig, the notification pops up,
Yeah,
shared alive, and, I've got to keep my head on that
focused.
out
Yeah.
there, but if if I could do it out there, I'd do
Yeah,
it.
I know, I know. And you guys are so committed. I have other veterans as well who have work related.
Mhm,
They're like, "Oh, I really wanted to be there. I just got called in to work nights tonight." And I didn't never realized or never thought I'd realize that we would be where we are, where it would mean so much to so many
mhm.
people. I think in the beginning when I started, I was like, "Is it making a difference?" I asked that question a lot in the beginning. Is this really making a difference? Should I keep going? And I had a few veterans who would send me messages, continually inspiring me personally.
Mhm.
This is meaning the world to me. You're amazing. Keep doing what you're doing. And it was those messages that I was receiving. I was like, I have to keep doing this. And I'm so glad I did because just being here with all of you, first of all, is unreal, unreal. And secondly, it's like, I made this happen.
Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. So, my message to all of you is you can make it happen, civilian or veteran. We have a lot of veterans that run lives, that run veteran groups, that do interviews. I see very few civilians stepping up. And I'm not going to say it's easy, it's not. You get questioned on both sides, which is my part of awareness, which is civilians will ask me immediately, or do you know somebody who's a veteran? Why are you doing this? And veterans will wonder why I'm doing this because I'm not a veteran. So whether it be the one side or the other, right? There's that divisiveness, and again, putting people into boxes. And what I've tried so hard to do, which is bridge that gap, which we see it's working.
Yeah.
You just got to be consistent.
And what we do is, and the way you do it is the best way to do it, is you put us in the box.
Hmm.
You allow the guests that are in the comments to ask questions,
Absolutely,
and we answer the ones that we're comfortable with.
absolutely.
I'll tell everybody that there's things that a veteran, especially a combat veteran, will never speak about.
Yeah,
And that's just
yeah,
the way we are.
yeah,
There's things you want to forget, but you don't forget it.
yeah.
But yeah, it's
I get it. And that's part of I think initially people are like, what is she gonna ask us like really intrusive questions? And I don't. I don't think I ever
no.
have. A lot of our conversations either start off with, hey guys, today's topic, we're gonna talk
Hmm.
about whether, like survival stuff, um, fun places you guys have all worked or eaten foods from. We talked about eating crickets, it's like a
No.
running joke or the mud coffee. We learn for the civilians that are in the live. Your friends, your supporters,
Hmm.
and followers who are there to hear the conversations and interact with us. They want to know. Those are some cool stories. The boot camp stories, for
Oh,
instance.
camp stories.
Yeah, those are some
Oh.
amazing lives that we run. So as a civilian, when I just listen to you guys, I'm like, oh, no kidding. Or that's what that means. We learned so much. But I think with our group, what has happened was we forget that we're civilians and you guys are the veterans.
Yeah, I
We're just
mean,
like a family.
we treat each other the same
Yeah.
in the group. I mean, in on the live, we talk to each other the same way as we talk to anybody else.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
But where we draw away from talking to civilians like we talk to anybody else, it's when we get to talking amongst each other in the live, and it's a completely different mindset and
Absolutely.
completely different tone that we talk to each other
And
with.
I get lost usually on my own live, and I'll say to them, "Hold on, time out, time out, time out. What does that mean?" And then they start laughing at me. True story. Isn't it a true story? And I
We
start
do,
laughing.
but we have fun on there.
We do have fun. And tonight is Veterans Night, actually.
Yes, it is.
Today is Friday. On Friday, we wear reds. We remember everyone deployed. Every single Friday, we represent. And you're actually, I like that shirt.
Yes, this is. People realize this. This was Iwo Jima,
Iwo Jima. That's right, the statue.
and a lot of people don't know about the flag raising there. That there was everybody thinks it was all Marines that did it, but it's not. There was one Navy corpsman
Oh, no
and
kidding.
amongst all the Marines that helped raise that flag.
Awesome. Very awesome.
And everybody, you'll always hear some of the Marines that don't understand especially the younger ones. They don't really understand this.
Yeah.
And I say, oh, that's all Marines. I know it's a Navy corpsman in there. That's Doc was in there with it.
Yeah. Can't
So
forget the doc. I learned a lot about the role of the doc.
you don't mess with Doc.
That's right.
I
And
don't
that's
care
what
what service you're in. If you're in Air Force, Navy,
doesn't matter.
Marines, or Army, Doc is God, and you
Yeah.
don't touch him.
That's right. And that's something, as a civilian, I didn't know until I started running my veterans lives. I was like, no kidding.
Yep.
You know?
I mean, last time I was in Iraq, I had a situation that happened, and the first person's face I seen was Doc.
Yeah.
That's why we protect him,
Yeah.
and we'll protect Doc with our life.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the way. I mean, Doc has more power than the commanding officer.
hmm It's funny that you said protection. Earlier today, we had done a few group activities right here at our camping for the weekend. Which location I will not disclose at this time, but will be disclosed. But it's been pretty amazing. And I put some videos out of us planking together, just having a good time together, really enjoying each other. And we had a few of our friends actually, the feedback is pretty awesome. They love seeing it. But most recently, one of our friends, Freedom Lover, I'm going to give her a shout out. She said, you're one of the most protected women right now because it was with all
Yes,
of you.
because you have all the veterans around you,
Yeah, I do.
and that's a discussion that me and you was having before we came up. And I told you that this weekend was a weekend that you wouldn't have to worry about nothing because you'd have more protection around you than you could ever think.
That's right. And that means a lot to me.
Yeah.
Like if I had to be afraid of anything, this wouldn't be it. This wouldn't be my situation. Not at all. You guys are like family to me. But I also feel like I've known all of you because I've spent so many hours talking to all of you. We
Yep.
laugh. We've shared sad stories, stressful stories. We've had so many different situations on our lives. So we're going to keep going with our lives every Friday night. God
I mean,
willing.
you have been there when I was having some trouble with something that was going on with me,
Yeah.
and you talked to me during that time. So, I mean, there's not a lot of people that will step in and done that.
Well, I do try to make my time count. I'm interacting with you for a reason. I want to add value to your life, just like you add value to mine. It's a reciprocating relationship. Too often, I think we get caught up in a very selfish world of it's all about me. We don't take enough time to care about another person
Yeah.
or the impact that we have in their lives. That's why you'll see me always say, don't forget to smile, fill your cup, fill your cup. I'm going to smile extra today so I can help fill yours. And then keep it moving, keep it going, and that's so true, because we don't know who's having a rough day.
Yeah.
So if it comes to my attention, someone's having a rough day, you better believe I'm going to make sure, I'm going to try at least, right? At the end of the day, we're responsible for our own. It's what we're putting in to maybe change the mindset. We could work through it, come together and do that. But
it's like you say, we're better together.
Better together. That's right, my friend. #BetterTogether. every time, and match my energy. You're always matching my energy, actually. So I'm super excited about this weekend. We're going to do some amazing things. We've already had an amazing time between cooking. There's hiking and fishing and kayaking. We were throwing the disc today. We're whipping the
Yeah,
disc. Yeah, that was my first time. Yeah, it wasn't very good either.
you did great.
It did okay though. I made it count halfway. I was like, I tried. And as long as you're trying, you're doing great. That's what I say. Um, so we have a lot more in store for the next few days, and
Yeah,
I'm like really excited about it.
it's gonna be fun.
It is.
I
It
mean,
is.
and the bad part about it is the leaving.
The leaving part, most
That's
definitely.
gonna be the worst
It
part.
is. You'll be driving home. You're going to
Yep.
have some time to reflect, right?
Yeah.
Take time to think about the weekend. I'll be taking some flights to get back home as well.
Uh,
Not so much
and
fun. But I'll be doing my own reflection. I think for Sunny, it's more like, wow, this really happened.
mhm.
It actually makes me very emotional, which I'm not going to do on here right now. But it makes me very emotional, especially when I'm talking to my kids. I think I feel proud
Mhm.
and I see it in their face, even if they can't express it to me.
We I seen it a while ago
Yeah.
when
When I
your
was
son.
talking to my son,
Yep.
you saw that? Yeah.
You can
Um,
see it in his too.
Yeah. I think it's kind of like for my children initially, the whole social media piece, right? Which
Mhm.
is something I'll briefly touch base on. Um, Everyone's like, oh, it's just social media. No, there's real people behind the screens,
Yeah,
real feelings, real lives, real stories. People's lives are mattering. And
and
for my children, I think they were so caught up in that, like, oh, mom spends all her time talking to strangers. I'm like, no, honey, they're not just strangers. This is the Sunnyside family,
mhm.
and they understand. And it took time for them to understand. Oh, it's Veterans Night. They know my schedule now. You know, um, they know my schedule. They understand. They understand now what mom's doing, and they're seeing it happen. When it came out, like my merch, they were like, "Oh my gosh, she really did get a logo.
Yeah.
What's going on with mom?" Oh my gosh, she's really going to Wyoming when I went with All American Heroes. It was awesome. And then this weekend,
And then and All American Heroes again
yeah.
come
So
through
Mac,
for us.
yeah,
Yep.
very awesome. So Sunny, as you know, we've been
Yeah.
talking about this trip for months on
Yep.
end. I had talked to Mac, and I said, Mac, I am so excited. I got to tell you the news. I'm committed to doing it. It's happening. You and I had talked
Yep.
already. Actually, it was you and
And
I.
well, and
Yeah, I was
I
talking so
told
much with
I
you.
had told you that if I had to, I would pay for the cabins.
Absolutely. And what at that point I hadn't
We
even
had no
talked to
funding.
Mac. That's
We
right.
had nobody.
And we were so determined, like, no, we're making it happen. Everyone was committed to like making sure that, you know what, we're just going to split the cost with
Yeah.
however many in attendance. And Sunny was determined to figure something out. That's why I came out with the merch line to try to see if I can, help in that way. And all donations would go towards the trip. And when I told Mac, I said, I'm so super excited. I had just come back from Wyoming in March
Mhm.
as an ambassador for All American Heroes. And I told him I'm so excited. My veterans from Veterans Night, our family, that we're going to do this. He goes, still, All American Heroes, so that's what we did. And he was generous enough, and so was All American Heroes, of course, to our lodging, took care of our lodging. And it's pretty amazing. It's pretty amazing. We're camping bougie.
Yeah, well, yeah. Well, as y'all can tell, we're not intense.
We're not intense, and it's a good thing because there's cicadas, lots and lots of cicadas.
Oh,
The cicadas are chill. They're
they
actually not bad. They just make a lot of noise.
they put you to sleep at night.
Yeah, it's more. We've had a little bit of the rain too,
Mhm.
but we still
The
doing.
weather, besides the rain, it hasn't been that
It's been
hot.
perfect. Yeah, it's been good. It's
Yeah.
been very good. But no, it's been very pleasant. Looking forward to the rest of our trip. And tonight we have our veterans live. So just to kind of conclude and closing thoughts, I appreciate you coming on, my platform to have this interview. And for those watching, whether it be a veteran or a civilian, what kind of message would you like to leave for them?
Honestly, for the veterans, reach out to the civilians around you and kind of make that connection. Talk to them. Let them understand you. And for the civilians, they should do the same thing. Talk to your veterans that you know, and I see it a lot that the civilians kind of they shy away from them because they don't know how to take it. But talk to them. You'll see that we're normal people. We have our problems. I'm not gonna lie about it, but we're normal people. We need interaction from somebody, and if we don't have interaction from somebody that leads us down a road that's a dark path, and we need to bring that, like you said, bridge that gap.
Yeah.
And that right now, that's a big gap that needs to be filled.
One of the hardest I have found, like in everything that I do, as you know, like I'm focused on and bringing the message of positivity.
Hmm.
Today's maybe crap, but you know what? You're going to get up again tomorrow. And they're temporary problems that will pass. But when you get into that place of, and we've talked about this, where everything just seems like it's so dark that you're like, it's it, you know, it's shit. All of it's shit,
Yep,
right? It's all of it shit. This is never going to change. We
I've
just
been
get in.
there.
Yeah. And that's something else we talked about, how whether it's a civilian or a veteran, we have a story and we've all gone through crap,
Yep.
whether it's love and loss, right? Um, Financial stressors, whatever it is, we've got similar stories. They're just different.
They're just
They're just
different,
different.
and they stem from different circumstances.
Absolutely.
But you can come together and talk about it.
Yeah.
Whether you're a civilian and
Yeah.
to a veteran, or a veteran to a civilian, you can still come together and talk about it.
Yeah.
We're still human.
They're still human. And I also think that even for our veterans, that one of the things that I try to emphasize strongly is stop putting yourself in a box, a checkoff box,
Yeah.
because the world already does that for you, right?
Yeah. Well, especially not necessarily your regular veterans, but your combat veterans.
Yeah.
We're put off. Okay, these guys, you don't want to get around them
Yeah.
because they've got a lot of problems. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
But again, that gap needs to be filled, because we need a place to vent. We need a place to, and we need somebody that we can turn to and talk to. And if we don't have a brother or sister, and I'm talking military brother or sister to talk to, we need somebody else we can go talk to.
Hmm.
And it could be a civilian, it could be somebody, your neighbor, but talk to
That's right.
them, get to understand their mindset and what they're going through mentally.
And for civilians, you don't have to have any answers. You just
No.
got to listen. That's
Just
really all it
listen.
is. Lead in love and lead the way. Sometimes it's just, I will listen.
Mhm.
I don't understand, but I'm going to listen to you. Costs nothing to be kind. And that is an act of kindness,
Yeah.
to just be a friend, offer friendship. But this is something we're going to continue to work on, most definitely. It's not going to happen overnight. We have a lot of work to do. We have a lot of work to do.
A lot.
And as Sunny always says, I don't want followers. I want leaders. I want others to lead the way as well. I want others to create platforms, civilian or veteran, whatever, as many as possible, because what we're doing is unifying Americans.
Yep.
We're bringing everyone together, finding common ground, things that we can talk about. But even on my own platform, I have no objections ever. I just kind of sit back sometimes and I listen to you guys laughing. I think that's the highlight, by the way, of my Veterans Night, when they all get going and I just listen and laugh.
No,
When I listen and laugh.
we
yeah.
have to tone it down a little bit for TikTok, but
Yeah. Damn TikTok and those restrictions, community guidelines.
but we have to tone it down some.
Yeah.
But some of the people that are in there, they get the gist of where we can go with it. I mean, we can
Yeah.
take it way out in left field.
Yeah. And to go off of what you were saying, if you ever find yourself in crisis, 988, if you don't have a friend, if you don't want to
Yep.
call a friend or a family member, please reach out to somebody, because they are temporary problems. And you're needed here. You really are. Every single one of us is here for a reason. And you're most definitely needed here.
So the veterans that watch this, the combat veterans, me being one, I will tell you this: you came home for a reason,
That's right.
and being home is not the time to give up.
Yep. You got to
So,
keep fighting, right?
uh,
You got to keep fighting, and you're stronger together. Strength in numbers. And that's part of what we do. Strength in numbers, right? We keep telling other veterans, join us, come on
Yep.
over.
Get over there with us.
Get over there with us. And that's kind of what we've been doing. So anything else you'd like to add, my friend? And we could always revisit with you again another time.
Yeah,
Maybe
well, I
not in
mean,
this setting. We won't be camping together.
but I mean, I am home 2 weeks at a time, so we
You
can
are?
do more.
Yeah,
And
most
um,
definitely. Looking forward to future
yep,
adventures. We'll leave it at that.
yes.
Yeah, future adventures, which is part of Sunny's mission and vision.
Mhm.
Stay tuned. There will be more. I'm hoping
No, we're
more
gonna make it happen.
Sunnyside meetups with some of our veterans. In the meantime, I just want to say thank you so much for tuning in today. Thank you for taking the time to want to get to know War Eagle a little bit. Always coming to visit Sunny. Leave a comment below. Lead with love. Leave some comments of love, inspiration, motivation.
Yes, ma'am.
We're always stronger together, better together. Much love. Stay sunny, stay spicy, and make
Make
it
it
count.
happen.
Make it happen, make it count. Much love. Have a good one, guys.
So.